close by that you can use for just a little height if you enjoy that in your asana, in your seated posture. So we'll just place it down and bring the sits bones right on the edge of your blanket, and then come to the most comfortable place that you can lay in Sukhasana. And before we start with a short meditation, just take the arms behind you and interlace the fingers there and draw the knuckles straight down and feel the shoulder blades get closer and closer and closer. And take one more huge breath there into the shoulders and the upper back. Good. And then slowly release the bind of the hands and let the palms just drop to the knees or to your lap, whichever is most comfortable for you. And let the eyelids just slowly find each other at the front of your eyeball. And let the tongue slowly slop away from the top of the mouth. And just feel all the muscles through the face. Deeply relax. And then let yourself take the next in-breath beyond your ribs and down into the base of your torso. And see if you can keep having a sense here of the inhalation dropping so low down into the bowl of the pelvis, connecting you with a deeper, more grounded inhale this morning. I did this incredible meditation yesterday morning that was really about landing in the heart, and it just has kind of stayed with me and reminded me about the subtle nature of listening in to that part of our structure. But first, feel the base, feel the breath really connect you to the pelvic floor, to what is undermost in your carriage. So it's important that we find our tether, that we find our ground. And then, like mercury rising in a thermometer, let the awareness grow up into the heart. And it's like this infinitely blooming flower. It is amorphous and non-linear and without concept or word, but just begin to land in that space and feel what your heart has for you this morning, which again will ramble around in a way that is wordless, speechless, just to be seen and felt and held. And this morning, when I was coming back to that meditation, it reminded me of The Little Prince, which is a book that I read and reread and reread over and over and over again, and will do so for the rest of my life. But one of my favorite quotes in there is, "Now, here is my secret, and a very simple secret. It is only with the heart that one can see rightly. What is essential is invisible to the eye." And take 3 more breaths into this center, into the heart. And take just a moment here to really promise ourselves that we will come back to that subtle languaging that is emitted by our heart center as often as we can here today as we practice. It's subtle and it's not so obvious, but we will begin again and again to tune in to that frequency. And let the hands float themselves palm to palm in front of your heart. And bow the third eye to fingertips and just allow your own intention or dedication to rise. And then place the right hand over the heart, the left hand over the right, sealing in this intention for us together and today. Good. And then slowly let the eyes just flower open, and we'll swim the arms down towards the floor and then reach them out to the sides of you. And let your gaze start to rise, let the spine start to arch as you reach up, and then slowly pull the hands hands down at your midline, just creating this stalk, this line right in front of you. And then again, take the hands down and out to the side. And each time you reach, let the ribs lift higher. Feel more space in the intercostal muscles. And then draw everything straight on down. And last time, inhale, circle, and reach. Just so simple, aligning breath and body. And then from here, we're going to just turn to our left and place the back of the right hand to the back of the knee. And then place your left hand on the floor behind you so that you can push and lift the heart center. And then rotate and gaze over your left shoulder. Good. And take one more deep breath there. And keep the right arm where it is, gaze forward. And then swim a rainbow with those left fingertips up to the sky and then all the way forward and over. And push into the left knee with your right arm so that you wrap the left ribs back. Oof, good. Take one more huge breath into the flank, into the kidney, the side body. Keep the right arm where it is and drop your left arm forward. And then start to rise up and wind like ivy, arms around one another. And lift the elbows and let the forearms drift away from the skull. And let the head drop back and open your jaw and open the structures of the throat. And then lastly, feel a lift from the space behind your heart. Good. And then let the elbows drop straight down and let the forearms hang heavy. And then let the left ear go over the left shoulder. And just feel into the nature of the layers, that is our trapezius and shoulder and neck action. And then let your whole torso start to just tilt a little bit more to the left and feel the weight of the head really bring opening there into neck, shoulder, upper back. Good, and then spill the torso forward and let your head rock over to the left. Just breathe, huge breath into neck, into shoulder. Good. And then back to center, let the skull float right up. And then keep the arms crossed, but release and keep the X and just point the fingertips forward. And then point your thumbs down. Good. Interlace the fingers in front of you and draw the knuckles to the heart, to the sky, and then to whatever degree they want to come forward, just really respect your edges and breathe there into the wrist, into the forearm, into whatever feels twisted, which could be your mind, your arms, and wherever you're twisting this morning. Good, beautiful. And then slowly, knuckles to heart, to ground, to sky. And then start to point the fingers forward again and extend the fingers as much as you can. Let the arms go behind your head. And then give a little push of the head into the arms. Ooh, feel shoulders, rib cage, upper back. One more breath. Beautiful, y'all. And then slowly let the arms just tumble down. And take this time left hand to the back of right knee, right fingertips to the floor. Push down with the fingertips to lift your heart and wind your gaze back and over the right shoulder. And take one more deep breath, pushing into the leg and lifting off the earth. And then use those right fingertips to again paint that rainbow across the sky. Up and over and down. Oh, good. And then use the left hand, pushing into the knee to revolve the right ribs back. More and more and more and more. Yes, one more deep inhale there. And then drop the right arm. And slowly rise and wind the arms around each other. And then lift fingertips, lift elbows, draw the forearms away from the skull. And let your head drop straight back and open the jaw. Good. And then lift the space behind your heart. let the elbows drop down. Let the forearms hang heavy. And let your right ear just drop over the right shoulder and feel into neck, trapezius. Good. And then slowly let the head drop forward and over to the left. Good. And then take one more breath to neck, to shoulder. And let your head float right on up. And then extend the arms to that X in front of you. And point the thumbs down. And then interlace the fingers. And draw knuckles to heart, to sky. And then just let them come. So sometimes, some mornings it's here. Sometimes they come a little further. Just really feel into where that edge is for you and breathe. And let it be soft. Really find the edge. It's like listening into the waves of the heart. It's really subtle to listen to your body's guidance about where the pose goes rather than your brain. We have this visual learning paradigm outside of us, and we see something and we try to attain it, but rather work inside out and see if you can feel where to land, and then in that way achieve your pose. And take the knuckles to the sky, to the heart, and down, and then wrap them forward and all the way up to the sky, and then point like blades, fingertips up. Let the head drift forward and reach, reach, reach. And let the arms, the palms press into each other, and then lastly push the head into the hands and breathe into the upper arm, shoulders, upper back. Ooh, mama poses. For you, Christine. Good. And then let your arms just float out to the sides. Good. And then we'll come right onto all fours and take your blanket or any props that you have that you might want close by. Just have them there beside you. Good. And then hands a little forward of directly under your shoulder. And we'll just take a couple circles in the hips. So drop them to the left and swing forward and to the right and back. And take one more of those. Left and forward. And back, good. And then two in the other direction, go right. Good. And left. And then last time, right, forward, left, and right back up, good. And then pitch your pelvis forward, land the thigh bones on the floor, and bring the right forearm at a diagonal. Reach back for the left foot and draw the heel in towards the outer hip. And then slide your whole left leg back as you lift up out of the right shoulder. Good. And take one more deep, deep inhale to the front of that leg. Nice. Good, guys. And then just simply switch it out. Place the left hand at the top of your mat, bending right knee. And draw the heel in towards the outer hip. And then slide the whole thigh bone back and breathe into the quad, into the hip flexors, into psoas. Good. And then gently release and tuck the toes underneath behind you. Engage the quads so that the kneecaps lift, and then swim the hands to the low back and interlace your fingers there. And draw the knuckles straight back and then up as much as you can. And let the heels go wide. And then touch the third eye to the floor. And lift the knuckles as much as you can. So you get a little higher up into the upper back. Good. And then lift your chest, lift your head. And this time bend the knees. And make sure you have space to clear a little rock and roll to your side. Keep the arms as high away from the sacrum as you can, and then just roll right on over to the left. And then kick the feet as if you could place the sole of the foot on the back of the head and push the pelvis forward. Good. And take 2 more deep breaths into the shoulder, into wherever you feel space created. Good. And then slowly rock and roll to center. Hands, arms away from the pelvis and rock to the right. And then kick the feet towards the back of the head. Press the pelvis forward as if you could make yourself into one circle. Oh, good. And then slowly release back to center. Keep the knees bent. Hands at the sides of your ribs into our mermans. Come right on up and gaze to the sky. And then look over left shoulder and let your tail wag to the right. And then come through center and switch. Good. And then come through center and lay the belly down. Good. And then from there, lift your hands, lift your knees, and push the soles of the feet together. Yeah, good. And use the adductors. It's like that old 80s thigh master. Now start to open and close the knees here. So keep pushing the inner foot together and let the knees open. Good. And then hands down and make your way right on back to downward facing dog. And take a moment here in your downward facing dog to let the breath open the body. And even here, just mindfully come back to a sense of your heart, of the guidance that is deep within. And really let your knees bend, let the hips sway, and feel into the music of your heart, which has its own song, its own beautiful rhythm. Good. Beautiful, you guys. And then draw the big toes to touch. Lift the left leg to the sky. Bend the knee, drape the leg over the body, and circle your ankle. Good. And just breathe all through the front of the leg. And really explore that opening slowly. Spread the toes wide. And then rise to the ball of the standing leg so that you lift even higher as you lift your left leg to the sky. And then knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. And exhale, take it back and up. Inhale, take the knee to the outer upper left arm. Hover. And then exhale, take it back. Good. And then cross it to the right elbow. Extend your left leg. And ground the back heel as you reach right arm straight up to the sky. Nice. Beautiful, y'all. Now from here, we're gonna bend the front left knee and open as much of my heart to the sky as I can. Full wingspan. Oh, just let the heart really drape open and let the weight of gravity of the right arm be pulled down with gravity and open more of your chest. One more deep breath to heart center. Good. Now as you straighten the left leg, keep the right ribs wrapping back so it's a huge stretch to the outer, to the right side. Beautiful. One more deep breath, reaching forward, and then place the right hand down, spin on the back toes, and then slowly start to draw that left shin right into your pigeon pose. We're gonna take an active version here, so we're using the muscles around the pelvis. So lift up and take the hands to the low back and tuck the right toes under just to also help you stay lifted. And by pushing into the low back, feel the shoulders get closer, and we'll take one round of Kapalabhati. So inhale here halfway and then start your pranayama. Good, start to slow it down. Nice, and then sink right into the fullness of your pigeon pose. Untuck the back toes, lift your heart, and then exhale, bow. right on in to the deeper spaces of that left hip. And maybe let your eyes come to close here and notice again what you can see that is invisible, and really come to always enhance that relationship with the subtle body, with what is unseen. Good. And take 3 more deep breaths there. Good. And then slowly rise and roll to the outer left hip. Swing that right leg around. And then as you roll to the back of the sits bones, float the left ankle under right. Good. And then gently lower down. A little bit of core work for Monday mornings. And then rise back up. And lower. And lift. So this can be as drastic or as minimal as you want it to be. We're going to take 4 more here. So lower and lift. And it can even just be a couple inches. If that feels better for you, you can lower down all the way and lift everything to the sky. Good. I think that's what, 2 more? 1 more. How many? I think this is it. Oh, that's it. Okay, there you go. Thank goodness I've got help here. All right. And then slowly come forward and draw those legs back into your plank pose. Now keep the toes tucked under here as you let the pelvis drop. So it'll create a little more of a curve through the front body and feel all those muscles we just engaged. Stretched, open, breathed by you, by the world. Good. And then press it right on back, downward facing dog. And start to walk feet to hands here and keep them hip distance apart. And then inhale, lift the heart, and exhale, fold. And just hold on to opposite elbow for a moment. And you can let the torso sway from side to side if that feels good. Nice. Beautiful. And then take the hands to the low back and interlace your fingers there and draw the knuckles up and over again, just combing through anything that we've gathered in the upper back and torso. Maybe lift and lower the arms, maybe turn the head side to side. Good, and then hands to low back and then to earth. And see if you can keep the head heavy with a little bend and the knees start to roll up 1 vertebra at a time. And once the spine is straight, let the head float right on top. And heel toe the big toes to touch. And let the hands find their prayer. And let the weight shift back towards the heels and let yourself just rest in your center. Come back to the heart and back to what you feel. And then being guided by the forces of nature, let the breath wash through you in an expression of Surya Namaskar. Circle the arms around and up. Exhale, bow up and over and in. Inhale, lift the heart. And then exhale, step or jump back, lowering down. And then rise up to cobra or upward facing. And press it back, downward facing dog. And take 2 more deep breaths here. And draw the big toes to touch. And lift the right leg to the sky. Bend the knee, drape the leg over the body. Circle the ankle, open the toes. Oof. Good. And then rise up onto the ball of the standing leg as you reach even higher, straightening the right leg. Good. And then inhale, knee to nose, shoulders over wrists. And exhale, take it back. Good. Take the elbow to the outer right arm, hover. And then exhale, take it back. And then to the outer left arm, extend the foot off the side of the mat. And ground your back heel and lift the left arm to the sky. And then start to bend the right knee and open the left arm. Full wingspan, and again, just let gravity do all the work of bringing you straight into the heart, into this wild animal that lives and burrows deep in the center of your chest. Good. And then slowly bring the left hand back down, spin on the back toes, and slide your right shin right into pigeon pose. Inhale. Lift the heart and exhale, bow. Nope, just kidding. Lift. Lift right on up. Take the hands to your low back. Tuck your back toes under, also to help kind of prop you up. Shoulder blades closer. And then inhale halfway and begin this pumping of your diaphragm. Good, keep it going and just keep watching that space between the brows. And the best way to learn Kapalabhati is just to jump right in and try. Clarifying the sinuses and the prefrontal cortex, good. Start to slow it down. Good, and then slide all the way into your hips. Lift the heart to the sky and bow. Right on into the right hip. And again, take any amount of propping that feels good for you here. And just come to a place where you can maybe close the eyes and see and feel from the inside out. One of the other quotes, as I recall, from The Little Prince, which I won't say exactly, but it's all grown-ups were children once, only a few of them remember. And there is that quality that we can retain from childhood that is just so open-hearted, that's so connected to that compass of our inner heart. When we came to the world with that raw vulnerability. There's something so pure in that, and now as an adult we also have the wisdom of ages, so we can meet and presence what arrives before us with both. But just not to forget that openness that's once we had, and also being able to come to it with wisdom and safety and all the things that we have learned along the way. Good. And slowly, slowly rise. Take your time. And roll to the outer hip. And then let that left leg swing around. Right ankle under left and gently lower down. And rise. And lower. And rise. Good. And lower. And 4 more. Good. And last time. Beautiful, y'all. Cross the shins in front of you. And then come back to your plank pose. And let the heels go wide. And then let the pelvis drop. And keep the toes tucked under. And again, feel that stretch of your undercarriage. Lengthening, beautiful. And then press and fly the hips right up into downward facing dog. Good. And then lift your left heel to the sky. And draw the knee through and plant the foot down. And then rise right up into your lunge pose. Yeah, good. And from there, sink low in that left knee and just find a little lift and lower. Yeah, we'll come into a twist today, so bring the hands to prayer and take the right elbow outside of left thigh and then push into the hands to rotate and re-engage your back leg. Good. If you want to bind or fly the left arm or even both arms, feel free to come to any variations. And then let your gaze go to the floor and windmill right up into warrior two. Ground the back heel. Heel toe the left foot over and sink in. And let the shoulders drop and turn the palms towards the sky. Good. And take one more deep breath, lowering and really securing your eyes. Let them be quiet and still. Good. And then reach the arms overhead and grab your left wrist and pull it straight up and sink deeper into the knee, and then draw that wrist behind you and open the side body. Good. Yeah, nice, you guys. And then keep circling. Let the hands drop and keep reaching. Keep pulling that left hand, and then come right into your extended angle. Right arm reaches and point the pinky down and find that straight line from fingertip to outer foot. Good. And take one more huge breath there. Nice, you guys. And then take the hands down, take the right hand down, spin on the back toes, lift your left arm to your twist. Good. And then place the hand on the low back, place that left hand on the low back, and take your gaze down. Find and secure your bandha. So draw the navel in and up, and then we'll come forward into Pavrita Ardha Chandrasana. If you would like to have a block here, then find that. Hand forward into the side of your left toes. Really secure first the extension of your heart forward and your heel back. So there's a lengthening, and then lift the left arm to the sky. Yeah. Nice. Beautiful, y'all. And take one more deep breath. Spread the toes wide and point the pinky toe down. Good. And then bend that back knee and reach for it with your left hand. All right, Miss Nancy, here you go, darling. So from here, we're gonna fold into the standing leg and let the right knee lift, and it will go slightly to the side. And wherever you are, just breathe into the front of the right leg. Good. And take one more huge breath there. And then slowly and gently release the foot, release the left hand down. Step right foot beside left. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, bow. Circle the arms around and up and into the sky. And pull everything down to your heart. And take a minute for stillness, for quiet to feel. And then circle the arms around and up. And lift up, over and in. Inhale, lift your heart, step or jump back. Lower down and move through your Vinyasa. Good. Downward facing dog. And then lift the right heel to the sky and draw the knee through and plant the foot down and rise right on up. Hello, into your lunge. And then just find, oh, I got toe kisses. Find a little lift and lower here, up and down as you breathe into the psoas. Good. And then find your prayer. And take the left elbow outside of right thigh. And push into your twist. Re-engage that back leg. inhale there. Nice, beautiful, y'all. And then find the variations that you may have played with on the other side for your final 2 or 3 breaths here. 1 arm, 2 arms flying, bound underneath you, whatever feels good. Oh, beautiful. And then slowly windmill up and into your warrior 2. And sink low in that right knee. And let your eyes really anchor you into stillness, quiet. Good. And then reach the arms up and take that right wrist. Pull it straight up to the sky and back. And then continue the circle, but keep pulling the arm away from you to really open that space at the right back. Good. And then find your extended angle. Right forearm on the right leg or floor, but that strong and straight diagonal line through the side body. Good. 1 more breath there. And then take the left hand down, spin on the back toes, and reach the right arm to the sky. Ooh, good. And place the right hand on the low back. And let the drishti go down. Find your bandha, feel the low belly, help you move slowly through space. And left hand to the floor or block, depending on your proportions. And first establish the line from the heart, out of the heart forward, and then out of the heel back. And then reach the right arm to the sky. Yes. Good. Nice, beautiful, y'all. Take 1 more deep breath wherever you are. Beautiful. And then bend the left knee, reach for the foot. And slowly start to bow into your standing leg. And let the left knee lift to the sky, and it will go slightly to your side and up. And just breathe into the front of that left leg. Gigantic, monstrous breath. Beautiful. Slowly release the foot. Let the left foot land beside right. Bring both hands to earth. Inhale, lift your heart. Exhale, bow deep. Circle the arms around and up and into the sky. And then pull everything right into the heart. And then we'll fly through Surya Namaskar, and maybe consider taking this one with your eyes closed so that you can really deeply anchor and take the guidance of what is within. Exhale, bow. Lift your heart forward and take it in your own time, your own way. And lower it down before you rise up to cobra or upward facing. And press everything back. And take 2 more huge breaths into this mountain peak of a pose, and let the hips get higher, let the heels drop deeper. Good. And rise to the ball of the feet, drop the knees a little bit wider than your hips, and start to walk the hands forward for Anahatasana, and let the thumbs touch and the fingers spread wide, and then pivot so that the palms face each other and the shoulders open more. You can place either the forehead or the chin on the floor, whatever works for you. And let the breath get deeper. Good. And then slowly push down and rise up. And come to lay on your back. And take the feet about hip distance apart. And come into bridge pose. So lift your pelvis and take the hands underneath you and bring your shoulder blades as close as you can get them and really push down to lift. Good. And take 2 more deep breaths there. And then slowly release the hands and roll down 1 vertebra at a time. And let the inner knees touch. Let yourself have just a minute to feel that little window to access the energy of the heart. Following our heart openers is one of the best places to commune with that space. Good. And then one more back bend. So you may want to take another bridge. You can also place a blanket or a pillow or whatever you have underneath the pelvis and take a nice gentle restorative version. Or if you want to come to wheel pose this morning, you can place the hands right under the shoulders and then in your own time rise right on up into wheel. Yes, any variations that you want to play with, please feel free always. And fill this with 2 more breaths. Beautiful, Dawn. And slowly lower back down out of whatever variation you took. And let the inner knees touch and let the hands rest on your belly. And then keep one hand there at your base and take the other one to your heart. And then switch. Place the other hand on the low belly, the other hand on the heart. Good. And then many of you all from Boulder know this pose, but it's just a really gentle and important thing to do after our back bending. If you place the feet down wider than the sits bones, if you reach your hands straight down, you can maybe even touch the heels with the fingertips. And then you take the hands there to the top of the thigh and make sure the back is relaxed. So when it's relaxed, there's a little bit of a space, right, you can slide your hand through. And then from there, with the hands pressing forward at the top of the thigh, you'll push the femur bones away, and it's incredible the space you can regain in the lumbar, the SI joint. And so breathe into that. Good. And then very gently release. And we'll come into our inversion here. So if you want something passive and gentle and restorative, you can place, again, some height under the pelvis and lift the legs straight to the sky. Otherwise, we'll come into plow pose by drawing the legs up and over. And then you can interlace the fingers there and rock side to side so that the shoulder blades get nice and snug and close, and so that you can tip onto the very top
of that shoulder. And please use props here if that is helpful for you. And then as you're ready, placing the hands on the back, you can rise right on up into your inversion. And take any variations here that feel good to you. Good. And then slowly coming back to your plow pose. And then letting the knees drop to the ears. And letting the hands drop alongside the shins, the arms. Good. And then very slowly catch your feet on the way down as you find and slide into happy baby pose. And let yourself rock slowly side to side. Good. And then stay here at center. So our counter pose for shoulder stand, you can either take a fish or here in happy baby pose, if you press the sacrum, the lowest point on the back body into the floor, and then push the back of the head into the floor, you will also find that that recalibrates the spine in the way that you need, especially the cervical spine. And breathe into whatever you find as your counter position. Good. And then heels to sits bones, left knee to left armpit, slide the right leg forward. And come into your twist here. And just gentle, left arm to your side, let the gaze go side, extending to those left fingertips, and then maybe go inward from there. Good. And then slowly back to center. Let that left ankle catch on the right femur bone. Reach around and give yourself that little rock. One last time into the left hip. Good. And then slowly extend the left leg down, hug the right knee to the chest. And then come into your twist. Right leg across the body, and then gaze to the right. Good. And then maybe go inward for the last couple of breaths here, feeling the revolution and the revolving nature from within that is clearly also without in the external. Good. And then slowly rolling back, catch the right ankle on left knee, left thigh, reach around for your figure four, and maybe rock a little bit as you go one last time into the depth of the right hip. Good.
foot on the floor, place the right foot on the floor, and slide the legs forward. If you would like your blanket or anything over the pelvis, it can be a beautiful sense of containment and grounding. And arrange your body so mindfully. Shoulders down from ears, chin gently tucked into chest. Let the eyelids find one another right at the front of the eyeball. And let the tongue flop away from the top of the mouth. And let yourself tumble into deep rest. And feel the quietening move through you almost in layers. I always think of fog rolling in the mountains in North Carolina, where I grew up. There's a sense both of the breath and of the relaxation just coming into our shape with this slow moving, beautiful force. And just let it come in waves and let it move and soften different parts of you as it does. The Little Prince also has a quote that says, "The most beautiful things in the world cannot be seen or touched. They are felt by the heart." This infinitely blooming flower here inside of you, let yourself feel, after the waves of softening of muscle and fascia, let the curtains part so that something from your heart center is known today, here together. And just keep resting in that deep observation of what comes to bloom, of what is uniquely yours, and of what rests here within you, within your heart. Shavasana. one elbow and then the other, and place the palms on the torso and sense your body, sense yourself. And keeping the gaze inward, and only as you're ready and in your own way, your own time, roll gently to one side and then slowly make your way to a comfortable seat. Float the hands palm to palm in front of our hearts. Bow third eye to fingertips. And we'll close this morning with the vibration of one Om, either silently and internally or together and out loud. Inhale, fill the lungs. Ah.